Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Weare Board of Selectmen, December 27th. For the purpose of a public hearing, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, without further ado, I'll open a public hearing to hear comment and public testimony for a fee schedule change at the transfer station to take effect January 1st. Recognize Director Knapp.
So we're just changing a few items just to keep up with what we're getting charged. We actually could be changing more, but we're trying not to. So, this is what it currently is. That's what I'm proposing to change it to. And basically, it's just a couple tire items and a couple propane lines.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want any? All Frank? Yeah, I made extra. Maybe at least one person extra. Anybody else want any? Good. All right. So I handed out the last one that we revised, which is in 2020, and then one should say effective 1/1/2022. And the only changes are with number 2, which is tires. In 2020, they were $3 each plus $1 for dirt. For passenger tires, we're looking to go up $1 each on that. Truck tires are $15 each plus $5 for dirt. We're looking to go up $5 each for that, so 20 and 10. And motorcycle tires are 2 each. We're going to go to $4 a piece plus $2 of dirt. And snowmobile tracks, which is something we don't get much of anyway, were $20 before. We're going 25, and they can't have steel in them.
If they do have steel,
They don't want them.
do they go in the steel dumpster, or where do they go?
And take them somewhere else.
Okay.
Go change their tracks.
Okay.
Ben, do you want to do me a favor and roll that mic down to you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
And then if you go all the way down number 6, propane tanks. Before it said 20 pounders or 2 each. We're looking to go from a 5 pounder all the way to a 60 pounder, be $3 each. And
Helium tanks, you went to no charge?
yep, we found a way to get rid of them in our metal dumpster. They got a little port in them, so if you take a punch and a hammer, knock it out so that they're not pressurized anymore, you can throw them in the middle.
Nice.
And everybody talks funny for a minute.
Right. It's a
Good times.
it's a perk to the job.
Yeah.
Tires kind of coincide with petroleum, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Seem to.
Yeah. Okay.
I know to buy a new tire right now, it's a far larger increase than what I'm asking to get rid of these old tires.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking to buy 10 truck tires personally, and I've waited a month, and they've gone up 10% in the month I've waited.
Yeah.
If you can get them.
If, that's right.
I got the last 315 steer tires about 3 weeks ago for the town of Weare that Mr. G's had and is going to get for weeks to come. That's a popular size.
Now, how do you define dirt tires?
If they come full of dirt, some people dig them out of their back. I don't know how the hell they get all the
Okay,
dirt in
so
them.
so then it's not a dirt
They're-
tire, it's a tire packed with dirt?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
They're cleaning up the yard or something.
Right.
Because they have to clean it before they can actually recycle it.
They must. I know they charge us that. They don't like it. They never used to even take them with rims on. They do now, but they don't like them if they got dirt in them.
Okay, I just want clarification on that, so, okay.
Just something they charge us extra for, that's all. I could care less, really.
Benji, we still a lot cheaper than if you were to leave them at the tire dealer?
A little bit. I was gonna go up enough so we weren't, because I don't know why people don't just leave them there. We get all kinds of tires that come in little plastic bags. They went through the trouble having them changed,
Right.
put them in their trunk, and drove all the way to the transfer station. to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I think
Why
the,
did you just
I
leave
think the
them at-
last time I went, it was like $5 a tire for the
Well, you
disposal
didn't just
fee.
leave them at Tire Warehouse, but we considered doing that actually, but
Yeah.
just wanna cover our costs, I guess.
Yeah, disposal of a truck tire is about 15 to begin with.
Yeah,
That's usually what we're getting charged, but, and then I think it's about 5 for a car tire.
yeah, I think the truck tires stuff, we're pretty close being what the other places charge.
Yeah.
Car tires were a little cheap.
Do we get a lot of truck tire volume, other than if they dig it out from underneath the,
Not a lot, no.
I
We
didn't
get a
think so.
lot of passion. I don't know where they're all coming from. I mean, you see some that are 100 years old. I don't know, people still cleaning up backyards. I don't know.
Well, we'll probably see more on the side of the road, because I just picked one up down at the end of the driveway. Somebody lost one there up by the house.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I remember the year you went up on TVs, and down there on the dirt road that goes up across.
all kinds of them up there?
Yeah, they set like a great big old TV, set it right on the end by the bridge.
The thing with this type of stuff is it's a revolving fund, so it's not in the not in the budget. So I can't cover it. We won't pay for what the customer pays or resident pays to dispose of it. So we don't have a line to take, negative out of.
Right.
It has to cover the cost.
Yeah.
And you take a certain amount of them, because we do go pick them up. When people call, we pick them up all over the place. So we do take a certain amount of loss at the transfer station, which there's nothing to cover. You hope you kind of might go over on demo or something, but we don't. We're very close to what we get charged, so it's not really an option
And to me,
to go on the
I'll-
red.
like you said, everything here belongs in a revolving fund.
Right.
Because this isn't regular household trash.
No,
Right.
Which the town's responsible for via
Right.
taxation, but this is not regular household trash stream,
no.
so.
So
Does
the
not
money
everybody
that,
change
the
the
money
tire
that the resident pays us to dispose of the tires, that we pay the company that comes and gets
Yeah.
each one of these units.
This is an extra service. This is an extra service.
Right, so,
I do question one item on here. Under 5, you have air conditioners, dehumidifiers, refrigerators. I have a dehumidifier at home that doesn't have Freon in it. I would be charged for that, even though it has no Freon?
I don't know. As far as I knew, they had Freon in them.
I don't think mine does. I
They
think it's-
charge us for them, I know that.
Okay.
If it doesn't, I guess if you can prove to me it don't. I don't know much about them. They come and tell me they charge us X amount to get rid of a dehumidifier, so.
Okay.
I paid when I got rid of mine. Don't be so cheap.
So, Benji, you made a comment there that you should go up on some other stuff. Are you gonna come back in a couple months for,
I hope not. I hope demo and stuff stays kind of the same. It's been okay. We've got a good relationship where we take our demo right now. We had trouble where we used to take it, and I've changed vendors about 3 years ago, and we're doing better, but, so I hope not. But you never know, I guess. There's only so many companies that take this stuff, so they can do what they want.
Yeah.
They do it overnight, that's what sucks. We're already paying these higher prices now. So.
Yeah.
And my Freon units, the place that was taking them, I found a lower cost, so we were sending them there for almost a year, and then they like doubled overnight, so I had to hurry up and go somewhere else. And right now we're good with that price, but
Could be different.
could be
in a
different
month.
next month, so.
And the wood that's treated or not treated, does it matter?
No,
Okay. Painted, non-painted, stained?
no,
Okay.
you're not supposed to burn wood anymore in the brush pile. All goes in the demo. Brush only.
Any other questions, Benji, from the board?
No.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory myself. Anybody from the public like to speak to this?
Really want to speak, we just have a clarification on truck tire. I think that's come up before. You're not talking about pickup truck tire.
No, that'd be a
Commercial.
passenger tire, so it'd be like a 17.5 and larger, up to a loader tire size. I don't know what the 24.5, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but commercial truck
Right,
tire.
right,
yeah.
right, right,
Yeah, not a pickup truck.
right. Anybody wants comment? I have two 2-second things for you guys before I leave, if I could.
Okay. Frank, you wanted to say something?
Just a couple of questions. Would you run by the question that was asked by Tom? Size of the tires?
Yeah, so what we were talking about was, it says truck tire.
Yeah.
It's not a pickup truck tire. That
Okay.
would be considered passenger.
Okay.
Truck tire, and when Benji says 17 and a half,
Okay.
that'd be rim size.
Okay.
So anything that would be like for an F-550 commercial grade truck and bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
And really, the reason I ask is I'm probably gonna have to replace a tractor tire. You know, I don't remember the size of it offhand. So you guys, they will still take that?
Farm tractor or like,
Farm, yeah, smaller farm
It's too
tractor.
large, they won't take them anymore.
Okay,
but you set up to a loader tire, so I'm sure that he doesn't have a
Well,
loader.
depends how big depends how big it is. Loader tire, they won't take on ours.
Okay, all right,
okay. Well, it's not a loader tire.
yeah.
Okay, and then raises a question, you know, the tires that get picked up on the side of the road, you know, are you allowed to take, to put tires into the burn? You know, into the trash trailer, like they used to be? You used to be able to,
No.
EPA doesn't even,
Throw some-
EPA doesn't allow that. You can't burn tires.
okay.
Yeah, you
So
can't,
that's,
yeah, it's a no-no.
because they used to be able to take them.
Yeah, we used to put
Throw 'em
like
in.
5 a trailer, no, we don't put them in.
Okay. So it kind of make up for, if that was the case, that they could take them, then that would kind of offset the loss.
You
of
would,
disposal.
yeah.
EPA's got very stringent on that.
Okay, that's it, thanks.
Anybody else? Okay.
Did we make a motion on this?
If nobody else, we'll close the hearing. And I think we'll bring it to a vote. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the new fee schedule presented by Director Knapp at the transfer station, effective this coming Saturday.
I'll second it. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Just for clarification, you're not open Saturday though.
Right, right.
Goes into effect Saturday, but we're not open.
No, New Year's.
We're closed New
New
Year's.
Year's
New
Day.
New
Year's
Year's and
Eve you're
Christmas last,
New Year's Eve, you're open.
Yep.
Just like Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
Great,
Yep.
just not open today. Okay.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Did you vote?
Yep, all in favor.
I have one other quick thing about transfer station. For years and years and years and years, we've been charging commercial haulers $100 per year for a commercial sticker. Except this year, we actually dropped the ball and didn't charge them nothing. I just had such turnover over there that last thing I thought about was doing that. I'd like to raise that to $200 a year. We do appreciate the commercial haulers because it cuts down on the not
Traffic.
stream, but traffic some. But, you know, you get a little, you keep an eye on recycling stuff a little bit better, and so.
How many commercial haulers do we have on
you know,
average?
At least 5.
Okay.
So I'd like to change that to $200 per year annually for their commercial tag.
And the reason behind that?
I don't feel the recycling's quite there with the commercial guys. I think we take a little more trash into the trash trailers with them guys.
Mhm.
You know, some of them guys move a lot of trash, and it's hard, you ain't gonna pick through every bag on them, you
Yep.
know. Residents are pretty good about coming in and sorting their stuff out. And commercial guys, you gotta stay right after them, so.
Now, we know where,
And they
This-
could take it anywhere and not pay big money, so come to our transfer station for $200
is a deal.
is a deal. Some of them make $100,000 a year doing that, so,
And we're only accepting town.
right, only Tenaware.
Okay.
So this was a revolving account. Where does that $200 go?
200 goes in the general fund.
Right, I said this was a revolving account, but where is that 200 go?
General fund.
General fund.
Fund, okay. Any discussion from the board?
I have no issue with it.
I have no issue with it. Does it need to be voted on? I don't
Yes.
know. It does?
No different than this.
Okay.
It's a fee schedule of some
All
sort.
right. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we increase the cost annually of commercial haulers from $100 to $200, effective January 1st, 2022.
I'll second it.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Why do you, Hall?
The very last thing I think Naomi was gonna bring up anyway, so I
But
apologize.
while you're here, go ahead.
Okay. If you wanna present it, you're probably gonna speak
No.
better than me, no?
Well, I
So-
can just go, you can go ahead better.
I'll speak and you'll probably explain it better. So for, again, ever and ever and ever, we've taken a driveway, so when somebody, back up a minute, when somebody builds a new house, puts a driveway in, we have, I call it the list of 10 commandments. You get a driveway permit, it's got 10 rules on it you gotta follow. One of those rules, if it's on a paved road, you have to have a paved apron. The reason for that being is you don't bust up the edge of our paved road, you stop and take off. Now, I know there's lots of grandfather driveways that don't have them, but all you can do is start with the new ones, right? So, when they can't do that, and they need a CO right away, and, you know, geez, I just can't do it today, or it's winter time or whatever, we're taking a bond. And we've upped the bond numerous times over the years, and, I think we're up to 1,500 or 2,000 right now, but, it was just kind of found out, there was never really written anywhere that we could legally make them pay that, you know, leave a bond. So we'd take a bond check, we'd hold it, and if after a certain amount of time it wasn't done, then you get deposited, or if they did it, tear it up or whatever. So I'm asking you guys to just kind of make it an actual rule that we can charge a bond, charge a fee and take the money, because I wanted to write a policy for, I came tonight, but kind of had a busy weekend, and this came up about Thursday. I found out that we couldn't do this, so I'd like to kind of write a policy finding out when the hot top plants close, which I think is December 1st, and when they open, would be the only time to take a bond and make them just pave it before the CO otherwise. Because a lot of them, it's $1,500 cheaper than what they could do the apron, so they're not getting done anyway. They give us the check and that's the end of it, so. And, you know, if you guys could just, authorize us to charge a bond price for these, developers or whoever to, they're not always developers, but to,
Builders.
yeah, any builder to give us a bond check until that paved apron is done, and.
So it's either that or you don't get a CO. I mean, that's what we discussed.
Right.
So what happens is the CO requires the final sign off on the driveway, the print.
Right.
Final
I'm not-
sign off requires paved apron. Well,
It's
it's
a-
tough to pave in the winter.
Yep.
The plants are closed.
Yes.
So you either don't give an occupancy till spring,
Right.
or you come up with an alternative solution or an executive order kind of to allow the alternative.
Okay.
I know Benji and I did talk about it Thursday when it came to our attention that we couldn't do it, it's not written anywhere. We've been doing it, just kind of, because everybody hands over a check because they need to close. But Beth's not allowed to hang on to the money without authorization. Romeo said the same thing, we can't charge it without authorization. But, I mean, you guys can do an order until we get a chance to put together a policy or amend the building permit policy that allows it. Because other than that, you're gonna have a lot of unpaved driveway aprons or people that don't get COs.
Right.
That, the driveway permit is the, as far as I know, is the very last thing before they
is.
get their CO.
Right.
Okay.
And the
So-
last one to make sure that they do what they need before they move in.
So I guess my question is, we've been doing it. Is it, and now we have to come up with a policy. If we form a policy, is it legal to do such?
Well,
And take and hold a bond?
We hold engineering bonds, we hold everything else.
I'm just
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I
Yeah.
just wanna make sure it's legal. That's
I know
all.
lots of other towns do it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're one that holds an engineering bond. So we hold bonds,
Yeah,
all sorts.
I'm not saying we
just-
don't.
I don't have that answer because I
All right,
didn't call Laura.
I don't know. I just wanna make sure before we put something in place that we can't enforce.
Right. It came through the building inspector, the new building inspector said, well, I can't do that unless it's in writing.
Okay.
Is there an immediate need to act on this evening?
We have a driveway
It's
permit.
winter time and they're building houses daily.
Yeah, we brought in 4 applications
is-
today for new houses.
It's like, if there's any time. I think I did 3 last week and they said they couldn't do it, so they're gonna get out and pave their aprons, so nothing I can do about it. And one of them was a a swale that I agreed to do away with a culvert because a swale would have worked better. Now it's not gonna be paved, so it's gonna be frigged up. So,
What's the
I don't
board's-
know anybody that doesn't do it, and it would be, it's just a formality as far as I'm concerned.
What's the board's feeling?
I'd like to see the policy first before we vote on it.
Yeah, but it may take him a month or so to write up a policy.
I don't think the policy had anything to do with it. It would be the allowing to
standing
let
order.
Beth hold the check. The policy's just a formality, whether you're gonna charge $2,000 or $3,000 or 1,500, and if it's gonna be from December to April or yearly, I mean, policy's just the word and how it is. I just looking for you guys' permission for us to be able to charge that and let Beth hold the check.
And we've been doing it already, so.
For years. I mean,
You got a building inspector that won't do it.
Yep.
Because it's not in writing.
pretty sure my brother and Lloyd Bailey took
Yeah.
bond checks. I mean, it's
Oh, boy.
not something I started, that's for
No.
sure.
Right. I mean, I don't have, I guess I don't have a problem with it. I just want to make it a number that's pliable, I guess.
I agree with the idea, but as Benji said, $1,500, it's cheaper to pay the
The bond and,
bond and lose the money, not have to
well, that's why
pave
I was
it.
thinking 2,500.
What's it cost to,
Pave an apron.
About that,
satisfactory.
I think we've gone up to, I think we're above 15 now. We kept upping it the last year because they just won't pave them, so we
Yep.
just keep upping it 500
So then
bucks.
do it $3,000.
And then we'll write it, I would like to write a policy, kind of force them to do it. No bond, you gotta do it, never mind a bond when the hot top plants are open.
Yeah.
That was the policy I'm gonna write.
The bond will only be in effect from the
Right,
days of
winter months,
the winter
right.
months. Right.
Which be a policy I'll present to you
Which
guys.
is what
but-
we've done all along.
Right.
Yeah.
We just need authorization for building inspector and Beth, and they only to accept
money.
the check.
When's our next meeting?
January 3rd.
Next week.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy. All
When's
right.
that?
And I know there's
when's
7 going up by my house, and I know
Right. When
there's a
is,
ton of
uh,
building Well, I happening. know there's one on Sugar Hill that's gonna be closing in the next.
Right. And there's one, where was the one, the Maplewald one is the one.
Maplewald's the one that really stinks.
Yeah, that's the one that's gonna mess up the swale.
I mean, in the summer months, correct me if I'm wrong, but a CO is denied if it's not paid.
Right.
I'd like to make it that way. I don't know if we got it worded that way right now, but I'd like to make it that way.
I know that in the past that we, if it wasn't paid,
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
discussion of
right.
whether it
There's, right.
right.
can you do a CO contingent upon?
It's, what are you gonna do? Throw them out if their driveway's not paved?
Can you revoke the CO?
No.
You
No.
can't.
Once it's issued, you
Once
can't.
you've moved them in, you aren't moving them out. No, you
Some of them
can't.
move in before they get a CO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too.
True, true. All right.
So once the CO is issued, it's final, there's nothing that can be
That's
done.
it, yeah.
So the only option is bond at that point.
Just during the winter, I mean, we could put something together. I can ask Laura to put something briefly together for Monday night, but what do you do in the meantime? He's waiting on 2.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, just asking.
I'm gonna make a motion that we, that during winter months, December through April 1st, December 1st to April 1st, that we accept a bond in lieu of paving the aprons to paved roads in the town of Weare, with this motion sunsetting January 31st, 2021,
2022.
2022, to be voted on, reaffirmed with a policy
The dollar value?
of $3,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Thanks,
So
guys.
so the motion expires the end of January.
Yeah, we can work on that.
Yep.
So that way there we get a policy in
I meant
place.
to have a policy when I got here, but I was busy.
Okay.
I found out
You
Thursday. and
seconded? Thank you, John.
That ties us over, and,
Appreciate it, thanks.
yeah. No,
Yeah, we
Seems
can-
like a silly deal, but it really.
Yeah, and I can ask Laura some
yeah,
simple wording.
please
Yeah.
do.
I'll come see you Wednesday or
While
something.
you're here, any major issues over this past weekend?
I had a truck, well, we had 5 trucks go off the road because of ice. We got them all out unhurt.
No injuries?
No injuries.
Okay, good.
No hurt
We had
feelings.
No, well, it's Christmas. We had,
Christmas.
we had one truck go down because of admissions, and P3, the little truck, caught on fire, and against my better judgment, we put it out. And I have no idea. what the extent
Electrical,
of it.
hydraulic, gas,
I
or
don't
diesel?
know. It was a big fire,
Oh, nice.
and it's not good. So, it's
Great.
underneath, shifting linkage burned in half now.
Did you call, did we get a hold of Primex?
No, I shoved it in the shop at like 10 o'clock at night. and
Okay.
I
Disconnected the
I have
batteries and
no
walked away.
idea.
Disconnected the batteries and walked
Was
away.
it out first?
It was. Yeah. We left it outside quite a while. It was dark, and it was.
The P3 is the one we were nursing
it's
back
a
together,
little,
right?
It
Okay.
hasn't ran yet this winter. Every time I take it out.
It breaks.
something else.
Okay.
We finally got the front end put together, the transfer case went, so put transfer case in it, and it made it from the shop to about 2/3 of the way down Mail Road. Luckily, we had a fire extinguisher. Unfortunately, we had a fire extinguisher in it.
So while Benji's here, I fielded 3 or 4 phone calls today
Okay?
and wanting to thank you guys for being out Christmas.
Yes.
I mean, my husband could attest to that too, is as much as nobody likes the chip seal, he went on one of the roads with chip seal and you could get around so much better than any of the other ones.
Oh, yeah.
But also, one gentleman called and couldn't say enough that you guys, the town roads were so much better than the state roads. I'm not throwing stones, but he wanted to thank you because a good share of you guys probably missed Christmas. But you made it so everybody could get around safely.
And I want to thank
And he
Mike.
wanted to publicly say it. I'm not gonna.
Well, I appreciate that. Whoever was, tell them thank you. And I want to thank my guys. There really was no grumping or nothing. I called them in about 6:30, and we stayed there until 9 o'clock yesterday. So
Yep.
there was no Christmas on Christmas, and nobody complained. There wasn't even any grumpiness, and I really appreciated that from the guys. I wanted to leave them home till 8 o'clock so the ones, the little kids could open presents, but it weren't happening.
No.
I had them at 5:30, and it was slick, and I called them about 6, and
Yeah.
we fought it and fought it and fought it and fought it. Finally got a hold of, ahead of the damn ice, and then
Snowed.
it ended with 3 inches of snow. So we had to plow it. But, no, it went well, and my guys did a good job, so.
No, we as a board definitely greatly appreciate it. I know that myself and Selectman Van were listening to everything on DOT, on you guys, PD, the whole nine, and again, stellar job.
We had to sand all the roads, just get to our roads. But
I know,
that's okay.
exactly, yeah.
We get picked on about our sand, but that sand mixed with the salt
Really
shines
really
in something
bites.
like that.
It really bites in.
Makes a mess to clean up in the spring, I understand, but it shines on a situation like that.
Yep.
And my 10-wheelers shined. They were, the 6-wheelers one that had trouble, we finally got iron on them, after we tried to go out without it, and we finally brought them back, put iron on them, chains, and
Yeah.
then they were good, no more trouble. I'm not sure I'm gonna get them to take chains off the 6-wheelers. I told them they could, they're still on.
It's still on.
You might want them tomorrow
A
morning.
couple of them took some rides, and I don't blame them, so.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say kudos to the director.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the team.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. So,
Thank you, Benji.
thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. That's that one.
Do you guys get my email that I sent out?
Yep.
Did.
Okay. Does
All
that
right.
make any sense to anybody?
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Okay.
You knew that'd be the answer from two of us.
I honestly didn't get a chance to really wholeheartedly dive into it. I did have a conversation with him, and this is what he sent back.
Yeah.
I think he thought about it a little bit more.
Yeah. It
As
so-
to
it sounds like
see-
he put his head into it
He
a
didn't
little bit.
want to throw money into things, so,
Right.
but he also understands that. So,
So we received an email back from the radio vendor that was here last week discussing the upgrades. This board had requested that they that vendor two-way communications see what could be done with the existing system to see, because even if that large capital purchase of a radio system were to go through in March, we're still talking upwards of 18 months before it goes into service. So that's 18-plus months that we still have a radio system that's subpar. So we talked about end-of-year expenditures, POing money, et cetera, last week. And this was on the radar to see what could be done, purchased outright to improve what we have. We received an email, I guess it was, we received it tonight, it was received by the town Wednesday. Basically taking a look at what we have, and the term, it's far from public safety tier is what we have. But with that, right after that, he says, still something we can test and verify, maybe even repair. Now, that doesn't mean they can fix it to the point that the coverage maps were, but we can possibly get better coverage. Basically, we talked about, there was discussion that in that proposal that was putting forward, is that Everett Dam and Chase Park were two sites that were going to have to stay online, even after the overhaul as receive-only sites. So we kind of wanted to know if maybe we could do one of those. It appears that that vendor went back and forth on a whiteboard with dry erase and saw what, and took a report that he had looked at a couple years ago, went back and forth, and came forward with a proposal to basically put two of his employees in the town, basically for a full week, 80 hours, to go through, see what's not working, see what is working, repair things, shut voter sites off that are not functioning or functioning not properly, upgrade things, repair things if he finds it broke, and also to replace the two antennas on Mine Hill to Motorola spec, which would be a public safety spec, which would involve climbers, a ground support team, cost to do the antennas, the actual antenna purchases. The grand total proposal for replacing the two antennas on Mine Hill on the tower, and he calls it diagnostics test tune, would be a cost of $36,450 approximately. With approximately 25 of that being just for the VHF antenna replacements at Mine Hill.
Now with that, it is worth noting that the replacement of those antennas would need to be done either way. So it's not throwing away the antennas now. Those antennas would need to be replaced if the voters would approve doing the full upgrade.
Right, because they're gonna be used on the new system.
That's correct.
Right.
Right. This is taking a small chunk of that proposal.
Potentially giving us a minor increase in
Coverage.
and reliability.
Right. For the antennas. For everything else that he's speaking of, as far as the diagnostics test and tunes, that could be upgrade as well. That could be improvement as well,
Potentially.
potentially. There's no promises. Again, it's a system that is Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids, and I think that now it's out of hand.
If we're gonna be going, if we choose to bring a warrant article to the voters in this season, which I really hope we do as a board, it is my hope that we go with this particular company to do the install of this system. And this would just give them a leg up on everything that they're gonna need to do anyway.
There's mention at Chase Park and Bartlett Drive of the 9 sites that we have out there are the only 2 functioning. And the functionality of them is a quarter-mile radius of them. So, very grim, and that's actually quoted, so. There was talk about trying to put comparators up in Mine Hill to work with what we have, without a lot of expensive, adaptations that you're going to not use moving forward, in a new system. It wasn't practical. So, I believe that Bill, from Two Way, put some effort into this. I really do. So, like he said, it's the diagnostic testing tunes are roughly $12,000. But if anybody's listened to the radio system in the last 2 months, any improvement is needed. Any and all improvement. It's horrible. And that's an understatement.
So if you purchase order this and we get it started, are we just gonna call Two-Way?
Well, and that was my next discussion, was I think that we have a vendor we've been using for a long time, and I think that we need to properly and on good terms cut ties.
So here's the thing. I agree 100%, but we have a purchasing policy in place, and this would be part of that purchasing policy.
That this board can waive.
You
Correct.
guys can waive any of it.
Yep.
Right.
So we'll make sure we're all clear that we are waiving the purchasing policy.
Right. Did we get current numbers for tonight, like we asked for?
For what's left?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want those?
And all the list of what was requested by others.
So what Beth did is Beth forecasted the end of year where we are. Now mine is, she's taken out things, forecasting meaning she's taken out X amount for salt, repairs, some other things. So forecasting, and she's purchase ordered what you approved the other night. So that being said, it leaves you about $358,000 still. That's on the, you'll probably have way more than that anyway, because she did very conservatively forecast all the salt being gone, all the fuel, all the repairs. So I can't see all that happening, but we took it out just to leave worst case. So with that being said, excuse me, you asked me to bring you back. What I did is, we did talk about the lights at the fire department, but you never made a motion
Right.
for the 8501.
I think we wanted to hold until we got that bottom number on
Yeah,
top of
so
everything
very,
else.
very conservatively, like I said, I think there's still gonna be more money left. But I can't say that, cause you might have another storm tomorrow.
Right, which we do have coming.
So,
And
what
New
I,
Year's.
what's that?
And New Year's.
Yeah,
If that's
so
next
that's
year.
what I mean. So basically you wanted me to, on the list, I have the 30,000, we talked about the building inspector's vehicle. 8501 for the fire department lights. Then the ARPA things, which was the 64.4 for the AC, heat, and the HEPA things.
Yeah.
$2,000 for air purifiers. 24.2 for RO systems for the buildings. $1,000 for the water bottle filling station. And 36,450 for the radio. Gives you a total of 166,551.
The water bottle filling station, is that only here or is that all?
Only here.
Is that something we ought to, how much was it? Just $1,000?
It's a
Yeah,
little
like
shy. of that.
780 or 790,
Yeah.
something like that.
But I gotta have somebody put it in.
What about the,
Well, I'm just wondering if we ought to put one over at PD and fire. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Whatever you wanna do,
Is that something you'd be interested in?
that's fine.
Yeah, do you buy bottled water?
We do, is my, understanding that the RO system that was specified would replace that.
Would be able to have you have drinking water.
Right.
Yeah, see what we have here is,
Yeah,
Everybody
I'm not
drools on
totally
it.
up to speed on what is being done, other than they looked at our consumption.
Yeah, because we fill the bottles and you gotta tip it to do that. You
Yep.
only get a half a bottle. And then everybody's bent
Splashing,
over and
yeah.
splashed
If you'd like
over.
to, we'll gladly accept it.
What about highway? What do they do?
I mean, you could always pull back if we
Are
decide.
they
I
bottled
believe
water?
they buy bottled water too.
Like, we
Mm-hmm.
should probably do it for them too.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got a water ball nowadays.
Right.
Yep. But how
Transfer
much can we
station
save, how much can we save a year
Transfer
on
station does.
bottled water?
Buying bottled water.
How much is bottled water? Like $20 a month?
I wanna say ours is, it's either, I think it's $40-something a month.
Oh, because you rent the
with
cooler.
5-gallon
Yep.
jugs.
Yeah,
But.
So after a couple of years, it pays for
were they on the
itself.
plan for the
Yeah.
RO? Were they on the plan
I
for
think
the
you should
RO?
just do it.
I personally
Transfer
think it's a
station?
great idea,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm asking.
because the bottled water thing is just, it's
Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also, you're right, everybody, we have bottles, but I gave up with mine because to tip it, you only get about a quarter.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem following you. My question is was the transfer station on the list for RO? I'm sure that the big three were, this building,
Now you get a classification,
well, I'm just
just teasing you.
asking.
Nobody talked about, it. I don't know if it was included. If it is, if it's not included, it should be.
Yeah,
And,
they're on the
and
bottled
to
water.
caveat also, is the town hall included in that?
RO system was safety complex, highway, transfer station, library.
Not here?
Well, right now, we already have town hall, town office, library, safety complex, town garage, transfer station.
Okay, so they're all on
They're
there.
all included, total
They're all
project.
on there,
Yeah.
okay. So what
Oh,
would
I see
be,
what you said, yeah, she went,
Yeah.
so what would be the cost of adding one over there too? Because that's a public function hall, kind of like this is a public building.
Yep.
Town hall would be the same thing, wouldn't it?
Right,
1,000?
I would think, yeah, so just tag another one on, so we're talking what, 1, 2, 3, 4,
so,
another 4?
so you're gonna have, safe, fire,
PD,
PD,
Is it,
transfer station,
DPW,
yeah,
transfer station, and here.
and here,
in here,
and town hall.
in town hall, be fine.
Do you
I
have,
really wanna put one at the town hall if we're not gonna open it?
I think we're gonna open it
it's gonna open
someday.
someday.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, I just don't, alright, you guys do that.
We're gonna open it someday, if they're here, they might as well buy it in a batch.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
they'll
got
give us
1,
a better
2,
rate.
3, 4, 5, you got 6 of them now, so it's $6,000.
I'm not for the town hall. I think it,
Well, the event is usually for something and then they're out.
yeah.
It's not like they're staying all day and filling the water bottle.
The question is can you winterize an RO system? What, if we shut it down for the winter again? Right, we haven't had anybody in there for almost
2 years,
2 years now.
yeah.
I'd say let's tackle that one at a later date. Let's tackle the manned ones, is my opinion for now.
So you
Okay,
got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have $5,000.
okay.
So that's gonna add 4, so you're gonna be at 170, 551. Out of the 358.
Do you think you'll get a better price by ordering 5 of them at a time, or
I have
6?
no.
Nobody knows,
I
but,
think it's gonna be your labor cost, it's gonna be
Yeah, you
more
still gotta have
costly
them,
than
you still
anything.
gotta have them put it in.
right. And is there a labor cost for putting it in?
I don't know, Beth got the quotes, all I have is a
Okay.
number to them written.
I was just wondering if there was a number tag to just putting in the fill
It-
station.
Doesn't say, it says total project.
Okay. I'm sure it's gonna be about $1,000 each, probably,
Probably.
so.
Yeah, I say for now, let's skip town hall until we actually have it open again.
Says water bottle filling station, $775 each plus installation, that's why I did $1,000.
Yeah, 775.
So. I,
Well, they'll pay, it pays for itself in a couple of years. I think it's a
yeah.
no-brainer.
Same with the lights will pay for themselves,
That right.
so.
But the lights are only fireside, not PD.
Right, but it's still gonna pay significantly better.
Oh, I agree, but do we want to go ahead and wait?
I gotta be honest with you, and I'm not being sarcastic at all, I've got emails. They asked me to call the electrician back and put lighter lights, softer lights in there, they were too bright. Just saying. So I had to change out all the light bulbs to soft lights. And I'm not at all, I mean, some people can't stand a bright light.
Yep. Fluorescents give people migraines.
I think it's
yeah.
easier to work with, but that's just me.
Yeah, no,
And some people get migraines with bright lights, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm just saying, so I had to call and Carol had to change
Okay.
them to
The
a,
lights that were quoted are dimmable, but require an additional wire to.
oh, that's right, to move it up and down.
So, I mean, if it is something that's an issue on our side, it
could be altered.
could be fixed.
Is that like one of those,
Yeah,
sliding?
it just requires
A dimmer switch.
an additional wire.
okay.
Because it's. like-
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not at all slighting anybody, I'm just saying some people can't,
Or you
do the
just
bright
remove
lights.
a bulb out of the 4-bulb fixture.
yeah, that's true.
That's a cheap way of doing
That's
things.
right. No, and it's true for people. I
Yep.
mean, I just can't. So that's what I came up with. Did I miss anything for you?
I was just gonna ask that. Do
Oh, I was,
you have anything to add, subtract?
yeah, so, we've always come here, try to, one, operate within our budget. But things that have brought us here in the past, we did this with the life packs is, that anything that looks like it encroaches above the line, which goes into salary and benefits, that we've traditionally come to the selectmen to seek permission. We find ourselves kind of in that position as we get to the end of the year with a couple of things that we have PO'd, is looking for permission to encroach into that wage surplus, for an additional 10 grand or less, but not to exceed 10 grand.
Or,
We were looking at another one of those fans that we had gotten in the past, where we just had an occasion where we could have used more than one fan,
the ventilation fans?
ventilation fan, and we were looking at some rescue struts in the auto extrication thing. Things that they're already PO'd in the budget, but when we reviewed the numbers today, we're just bumping up against that line, so we're just looking for a little more room. And we're still within our total appropriation. Yep.
Okay. Any board members have a problem with it?
So you're at 180, 551
Yeah.
with a 10.
And probably won't take all that, it's just you need that buffer.
Correct.
Yeah, he's leaving. Everybody had to work
Not to
below the
exceed
payroll.
that, yeah.
Just like the chief came in, everybody works below the payroll.
And
That's why he asked you
here's the
for,
other thing, so yeah, we didn't approve all the chief stuff, police chief stuff.
you didn't do 3 and 4, but 3 and 4, 3 largely was for people you don't have here.
Have, you- yeah.
Okay.
It's for the future expansion when he goes
Okay.
full-time.
All right, which we
Of
could,
lockers and things.
which we might be able to do this next year again,
Right.
potentially.
You never
Maybe
know.
not, you never know. We could cross that bridge
4
there.
was the radar gun,
Correct, the
which I
hand,
kind of was
handgun.
in favor of.
For
The radar
handheld
gun.
one?
Yeah,
Yep. Because right now they can only do speed enforcement. if they're-
Stationary.
If they're facing.
And that's doing pretty well.
They're doing pretty well
Yeah.
with nail.
yeah, they're doing pretty well, yeah.
I've heard that, yeah.
I can say, yeah. You speak from experience. Yeah.
Works for you, huh, Naomi?
Just saying,
Probably work for anybody then.
So,
just saying.
all right.
So 181,
Yeah,
that's without the
No,
36.
That's
That's
with.
with the 36.
That's with.
With the 36.
Yeah.
So we'd have about 170 left.
And
That's
that's
on the,
conservative side.
it's wicked
Well,
conservative.
yeah, but
I
I'm
could
just
see
saying,
you
going by
going-
your
I could
figures.
see you having more than that, but you
170
don't have
left.
another meeting
Right.
this calendar year.
This calendar year, right? This is it.
You know, there's still gonna be, Benji's got repairs, there's
Oh,
still
yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
another storm, there's gonna be more salt, he's gonna fill
Yeah.
up.
Definitely. There's
Right.
one tomorrow and one
Sunday.
possibly Thursday and Friday, so.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why she just wiped everything out conservatively.
Yeah.
Um,
And she
she wanted
usually,
a number for
she
tonight.
usually does very well,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
have to admit that.
Yeah. So,
And you'll have you're probably not quite at the third meeting, which is January 3rd, your next meeting, but not sure that we'll have everything ironed out by then because of if you have a storm and
But
things
if
like
we,
that.
can we, I should know this, I've been here 5 years, can we still encumber next week? Or do we have to do it by the 31st?
She has to PO if you're thinking something. We can un-PO something. But it has to be done to, the system doesn't backdate, I don't believe.
yeah, I'd rather do it now and un-PO it later than,
You can PO it and then let it go,
Maybe
and
the-
let it go back in.
The cruiser. Deal on that.
I'm not in favor of that myself.
Which would you rather do?
Well, I mean, are you talking, but he asked the town for one, he got one.
Right.
Right.
I don't think PO on a second one right now is the thing to do.
I don't think it is either.
Because he got one.
Right.
Just like you can't PO Benji getting one because no was no.
And the thing is
It's not to say that you can't, at your warrant articles, offset
an article.
an article with the balance.
Can we do that? Can we make that decision at a later date, or do we have to set
Yeah,
it
we haven't
aside
done
now?
warrant articles yet.
Right, but can you say,
Well, you're gonna have, when Beth is all done at the end, you're gonna have X amount of money left.
right,
And then that's when you can decide if you wanna use some of that to offset an article.
all right, but we don't have to PO it, per se?
No, because it's gonna go in the general fund anyway.
Right.
Okay. That
So
answer
then
your
you can
question?
use it out of the general fund
Right.
to offset whatever
And at that
articles you
point, you'll have
want.
a hard number.
Yes.
It won't be a floating number, it'll be a hard number.
Right.
Okay. All right, and we could do the same with a truck, probably.
You could do, right, actually you could do, right.
Yep, so, all right, I guess,
You gonna make a motion?
well, eventually, yes, we're getting to that point.
All right.
I guess I will. I'll ask the chief. What kind of a transition do you feel is going to be had with our communications vendors? Yes, please. Because it's my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, you're more hands-on than I would be, that the current system is not 100% all town equipment. Is that an accurate statement?
That I don't know. There were some things said the other night, the comparer, or whatever, I call it voter, but
Yeah.
that piece of equipment, the way it was described to me, frankly, caught me off guard, right? And when I spoke with Bill after, it was, if I had known that that was the state of that equipment, right, we would have taken some action on that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's ours. I assume everything's ours.
I do too.
I can't
I know.
imagine we
I-
have anything in the link that is
Not
that
ours.
is not ours.
Right.
Okay. I just know if it was loaner equipment in there.
Not that
or-
I'm aware of.
Okay.
I don't
Having
think-
said that, my 2 cents on the antenna piece is there should be some coordination because they're going to raise that tower up about 20 feet with one more section on Mine Hill. And if we could
Grant State's
coordinate
going to.
that
Or
when,
Verizon, I mean.
yeah, Crown Castle.
Crown
Crown
Castle,
does
yeah.
that. So when they do that, we've already said, yep, we want to stay on the top, is if we could coordinate that, there could be some cost savings there.
Do you know rough timeline on that?
Soon enough that it goes back a couple months now that they were talking about it. They haven't taken it down, they haven't shut us off to do it, so.
Okay.
They're in the engineering phase, I would imagine.
All right.
But that might be something to reach out and find out if
Yeah.
there's an economy there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I agree that, we've had a good relationship with that vendor that predates me by many years, I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're certainly at that point where I think the town, whoever that is, right, should have that discussion with them on
On the exit.
severing that, yeah, or whatever we're doing.
Okay. I think we need to make that happen. Or,
Is it we or me?
well,
Just asking. You look at we and you look my way, so.
I,
Well,
well,
let's talk about this first. Do we need
Right.
to separate? Because the
I don't-
reason why I asked that is
I knew.
our contract, our agreement, whatever we have with them, includes the maintenance of the radios. We've not discussed any of that stuff
Right.
with,
So I think we can keep that part.
correct, so I think that conversation just needs to be had, that we're not severing ties, we're just branching off. Because they're still our radio maintainer as of right now, because we haven't bought anything from Two-Way. They haven't proposed anything.
I guess,
We don't even know if they want to take on the existing radio infrastructure. Would they not do it
Right.
until they replace radio?
and
I
that's,
don't know.
and that's fine. I guess my question would be, is you just brought up another question to me, is if they are going to do improvements, et cetera, in these cabinets, how much of that is gonna roll back to radio maintenance, actual component maintenance? I just don't wanna,
Very good question.
I don't want he said, where they start, you know, you altered this agreement, you altered this maintenance agreement, blah, blah, blah. Now you gotta pay extra. I don't
So
want
then,
that.
if that's the case, then I think we need to go back to this other company, Two-Way, and ask them for a maintenance agreement for the entire infrastructure system, not just the tower.
It sounds like the proposed vendor probably knows enough of what we have out there to make a competent bid, I'll say.
Yes. Just the list of current customers they have right now, those customers have radios that far exceed the capabilities of some of our radios.
Yeah. So I guess my thought would be that we need to
We need to ask Two-Way
Seek a quote.
what their price would be to maintain, to take over the maintenance of our current radios.
right in the current form that we have, which would be, you know, the monthly installments that we pay for just maintaining the equipment.
And,
There's no improvements in that contract. It's just maintenance of the equipment that we currently have.
and then the current contract we have with our current vendor, do we have an escape clause?
We do,
Okay,
I believe.
I haven't looked at it in a long
I
time.
think it's in there because I think we were on the hinge back then,
okay.
and they were okay with us
Something we need to
month
verify
month.
then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that we need to verify it, but, and like you said, do we need to transition? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't need to. But if they're gonna be in the boxes modifying, potentially modifying current equipment, then we need to figure out where the line is in the
That,
sand.
and just making that change, R&R may say, well, we're done with you. They may fire us as a customer. And if that's the case, we need to have Plan B in place.
Yeah.
Right.
Some backup.
So, I think if we could seek Bill's, he did say in the email that was a rough idea, that he would put a formal quote together. I think we need to push forward with that. And I also think that we need to figure out exactly where the line in the sand's gonna be between the two vendors and/or transition vendors.
So can we still do a PO against?
Yes, because we can always give it back
Okay.
if it doesn't occur, so.
It'll just lapse and you just give it back.
Okay.
It's easier to do it now than,
Yep.
So what was the final number, 181.5?
I have 180, 551.
All right.
So included in that is the,
Let me go over it.
no, code inspector vehicle.
30K.
Now-
Is 30 going to be enough for a half-ton pickup or a Chevy Colorado
Well,
sized vehicle?
now let me ask this. Probably not. And I say that because my father just bought a new pickup, a Canyon. And that would not be enough to cover the cost.
State bid hopefully is a
State
lot
bid hopefully
cheaper.
be a little cheaper, but
What about
Who
like
knows?
2-year, something coming off a 2-year or 3-year lease?
that was gonna be my next thought, was something,
I think that's the way we ought to go.
it's an up to amount number.
Right.
Because I think we'll be able to find something that's less,
Yeah.
that may be used.
I don't think 30 is gonna be enough. I'd like to bump it up another 10 for an up to. There's not, the used market out there
It's
is,
slim.
Oh,
yeah, because there's no new
definitely.
vehicles.
It's slim to none.
So I think if we are to go to the voters and ask in March, and we're gonna use this year's money, I think, we don't know what it's gonna be like in March. It could be substantially worse. I think I'd like to put up to 40.
Well, you just went two different avenues. POing means we're gonna buy it.
I thought, so we had the discussion that we were gonna go to the voters and use money set aside from this year's.
That's what Selectman Osmer was just asking, and that would be written in a warrant article to use from the general fund from this year's, which you can still do,
Yep,
but you don't have to PO
Then
that
if it
money.
gets voted down,
No, it's no.
means no.
Right.
that you can't buy, but then at least you can repair.
You can repair, yes, but,
can repair
but
now,
you
but-
don't have to PO the money out now to spend it in March via warrant article.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
If you PO it now, you look now, and you replace it now.
And we replace it
Right.
now.
I want it to go before the voters.
Okay, so we could probably take
That's my opinion.
we can probably take the 30K out then, of the PO.
Well, what's your guys' opinion? I mean,
Well, what I'm saying is if that is going to be the consensus of
that's
the board,
one.
which I think that my thought is we need to be going in front of the voters. We've crossed this bridge before with another department that had dire need for vehicles, and
No,
it still went before the voters.
yep.
We
Not your last one.
huh?
Puppy Paws is down there.
Right, but
The vehicle you bought for the ACO is sitting down there. You bought that out of his budget last year and let him buy it.
And no one's
Used
using it.
vehicle did not go to town meeting.
that's correct.
And I don't mean to be sarcastic, there's pause on it, that's why I called that.
We understand.
But he stood there and told you he had this heck of a private deal, and we let him buy it, and we let him graphic it, did not go to town meeting.
Right.
And
He bought that.
if I remember, I voted no on that one also.
It could
believe
very
I-
well be,
I
I'm just
believe I
saying,
did
but
too.
we bought it
Yep.
not going to town meeting.
Correct. And I was against it then, and I'm still against it now.
Right,
Because she was using her own car for mileage,
right,
Yep.
and putting the pets in her car.
right.
That's what he said to us.
Right.
So, and,
I agreed with the premise, I just didn't agree with not going for the voters.
right, but I'm just,
So,
it has a,
Right.
we've done it both ways.
Correct, yep.
But the last purchase did not go to town meeting, it went through that podium.
And I'm not saying it was the
Through the
last
year
one,
end,
but I'm saying is we have in the past, with that department, suffered high maintenance repair bills because of a no means no. But it still went in front of the voters, which I think it should.
That's two opinions.
Look for 3 and 4.
What's gonna be it? It's a crapshoot if it's 2 and 2 anyway. It's a no.
Absolutely.
Well, the only concern I have is if this truck is really unsafe, should we allow him to use it for another 3 months or 4 months? Putting him in
Well,
a
I think
vehicle.
we took it off the road.
We took it off the road. It's not
But-
being used right now.
It's still being used.
Every day.
He's using
Yes.
it. Yeah, I just saw him.
I thought we.
I
I
thought-
thought we
Hold it
agreed to
off the
take it
road.
off the road.
Doesn't have
What are we
anything
gonna
else
do
to
with-
drive.
But he doesn't have anything else to drive.
He's not gonna take his own vehicle. That's what we
That
discussed.
puts in a whole nother light when he uses his own vehicle,
So have we got a repair estimate for the pickup?
About 6,000.
about $6,000.
Okay.
Chief?
I haven't seen
So
it.
on the state website, under procurement for, McMullen for 2022.
Oh, it's out.
It's out. It wasn't out as of a week and a half ago.
Yeah, well, I hadn't looked at it since who knows when. So an extra cab Colorado, 4-wheel drive, 6-cylinder is, the base is 28.4 or 28.5, so
30 would cover it.
it'd probably.
Yep.
be
Okay.
more, right?
Yeah, well, if we put a cap on it or something like
Yeah,
that.
and I didn't look any further down to see.
I don't know if you wanna put a cap on if they're using.
I don't think
Parks
so.
and Rec
Well,
uses it. Yeah.
it's just an accessory
Right.
that's on top of what the
That can
chief
be
just
added
said.
later.
Are there so but there's other, I mean, usually there's a Ford, there's a Dodge, there's
Ford
a
150
Yeah,
or,
that's the,
Or Ranger.
whatever I said it was.
Colorado.
It's Chevy Colorado. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So,
So the number 30 is a safe number if we decide to go.
From
that
the
route.
state bid,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
That's brand new.
Correct.
You probably could find something out of a lease, if
Yeah.
somebody turned something in.
municipal lease too. It wouldn't
Yeah.
be, I mean,
Yep.
because I understand what you're saying with the lack of availability, but that's to the, excuse me, the public sector.
Yep.
Yeah,
But if it was a municipal trade-in,
yeah,
even at the 2-3 year mark,
right.
you know, we could probably get that
Significantly less, yeah.
Now, I believe there is a statute that allows for an emergency vote that still does public hearings, that still would involve the public, that we can do before the town meeting, is there not?
Yes.
Okay, so that would still go before the voters in some form or fashion. Just gotta notify everybody, and then we could make that purchase ahead of time. Am I right?
I don't believe
You
you're
can,
wrong.
you can have a public hearing.
Mhm.
Have a public hearing anytime.
Right.
So, that would be an that would be, to me, that would be an emergency expenditure. Would you agree?
I would agree. If it's that unsafe, that we shouldn't be on the
Well,
road.
I mean,
It's not gonna take a sticker.
No,
so you got till what, March?
probably.
Yeah.
I don't line up to look at. Some
Well,
some go to September, some go to March.
Regardless, if it's that unsafe, and I think Selectman Hippler and I are correct, that we we as a board voted to take that thing off the road and park it.
I thought we did.
I know, but how does he get around?
He's not gonna get around, because he already stated he's not gonna drive his vehicle.
And then so we've elected to, we told you to take it off the road and we're still using it. He gets into an accident. It's our tit and ringer.
No pun intended.
Maybe at that point, maybe we need to have an emergency meeting.
And I'm not opposed to that. I'm not. But,
That's one way that would satisfy both sides of this coin.
so I think at this point, we still need to, then we need to decide if we're POing it for the public hearing, or are we going to not PO it and go to town warrant in March?
I'd be over for a public hearing.
I agree.
There it is, so it
Okay.
stays in. And now, with a second question, thank you, chief,
Yes, thank you.
28,000 and change, do we wanna up that number to 35?
For what purpose?
You're gonna have to put stickers on it and
You gotta put
Not gonna be
decals.
decals.
$7,000
Our
for,
experience with the Tahoe purchase, because we don't do it a lot, was they usually come with an option list, and you might pick something that's not in that base price.
yep.
But there are options typically, and you're right at, you're at 28.5, I would imagine.
Yeah,
The other's finding a bare bones stripped down model. We're gonna.
right, it may not have anything in it,
It may take 6 months on special order to get that stripped down model.
right,
So we still go up to 40 then?
Well,
Well, up to 35.
the chassis we got for the ambulance last time was from the state list, the Ram, and that came pretty well spec'd out, but there are things you may wanna add, like, a towing package or something.
right, and that could be 500
And
bucks.
that
you
base
never know.
model may be two-wheel drive. Let's go with
No, you
4.
said
That's
four,
very-
you said
Oh, it was
four.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I still say up to 40.
yeah, I'm cool with that, 'cause we don't have to spend it all,
No.
and it just goes back to the
And
fund.
we can still look at a lease maybe too, right?
No, not state bid list like that,
Oh,
no,
not on state bid, but,
no,
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go lease, that's a different public hearing.
right, but outright purchase is different public hearing, so. Yeah, if you want it up to that, I'm not opposed, because
Okay.
if we don't spend it, it just goes back anyways,
Yep.
so.
So, do we need so we need to have a public hearing then?
But that's section B of what we're
Right,
discussing.
so you can, if you PO it, you can have your public hearing in January, because you've taken it out of 2120.
Right, but if we don't do it tonight, it's not there.
So we need
It's
to.
not there to even have an option
Yeah,
of.
so we need to,
We need to
I
vote on
think
the
that we
number.
need to have a PO then for up to $40,000 for state bid of a replacement pickup truck for code enforcement officer / town official use.
Okay, and it's just discussion, it's not a motion.
No, that was just a motion.
Okay. So,
That separates it from all the rest of the stuff we're gonna have to discuss,
okay,
because this has a public hearing, whereas the rest don't.
okay, there's a motion on the floor for 40,000 be PO'd for replacement code enforcement vehicle. 40,000 be PO'd out of the 2021 budget surplus. Is there a second?
With the public hearing to occur in January is.
Time to be, yeah.
Yep,
Is there a second?
second,
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
yes.
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 Okay, so there's 40 grand gone.
All right, so now you have to readjust that full.
I know, I was trying to do that when you
Yeah.
were making your motion, I was trying to, sorry.
Yeah, now you gotta
You
adjust
got
the
enough
price.
paper?
Yeah, I do.
And the only reason I made the motion is because it actually requires a public hearing, whereas the rest does not.
Okay. Understandable.
I mean, even if you order it in January, you probably won't get it until.
Potentially.
who knows when.
Potentially, yeah. But that gives us 2 additional months ahead of time.
Right.
This is true.
So you're at, I was right, 150,551, because you were gonna be at 190. That makes more sense. 150,551 takes out the, which is 8501 for fire department lights, 64,4 for the AC, for the HEPA filters, 2,000 for air purifiers, 24,2 for the RO systems, 5,000 for the water bottle filling station, that's 5 of them. The 36,4 for the radio quote, and the 10 for the fire department.
Now,
That's 150,551.
with that, after we PO the money,
Yep.
can we still do, the purchasing policy? The reason I say that, well, what I say that is, there's water vendors, different, water treatment vendors in the area.
Let's put a number, you needed a quote.
We
to have
needed a
good
number, and that's what I'm saying, and we now have a number.
Right.
But I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if at that point, once we, you
Well,
know.
it's kinda like what Benji does when he goes to town meeting, he gets a quote for a truck,
Mhm.
and then once you
He
have the
solicits it.
money, then you solicit.
Okay, that was what I wanted to know. Just because, like I said, I know we needed a number to attach to it, and we do, but moving forward, I didn't know where we were at that way, that's all.
We got those quotes how long ago?
It's been a little while.
I'm curious if those numbers are still good. Should we add 10% on
I was
to that?
thinking 10%. Yeah. I'm thinking we should add 10%, just because of cost materials. Yeah.
So add another
Keyword's gonna be on fire.
15,000.
Yeah.
So 165,000. 166,000.
Good job. What do I need this thing for? So 165,606. It's got the 10% included.
And where does that leave us with the
Overall?
ARPA money?
Oh.
That makes all
We
the
haven't
ARPA money
taken anything
available.
out of ARPA money.
That leaves it all available.
Yeah, that's what I wanna make sure is all, we
haven't
initially had
taken a
earmarked
thing.
some of that
We
for,
haven't taken a thing out.
we had earmarked some of that for ARPA. We are now taking back that earmark.
Right. In the list that we've already purchased, did you mention the sign trailer? The second sign
Yeah,
trailer?
11.5 we took
Okay,
out.
all right. I didn't hear it
We did
first
the
time.
sign trailer, option 1 and 2, and 10,000 for transfer station. That's the
Right,
only thing we
okay.
did.
All right, I didn't hear that, that's all. I just want to make sure that was included, so.
When you get a chance, Naomi, will you put that list together and email it out?
It's changed several times.
I
but-
know.
Right. Whatever we finally
Are you
decide on,
gonna, someone needs to,
move the number.
yeah,
So that's gonna leave us about 170,000.
yeah, that's conservative side.
Right, but I'm just saying, going by those figures, so. that's
Still gonna leave us about 170,
No, it's gonna leave you
150.
150,
150, because you got the 40 already spoken for.
Yeah.
yeah.
For 5 days.
And there's ice coming.
No, don't, that,
Yeah,
all
no
the salt's
way.
been taken out.
Yeah.
Right, all the salt in the fuel's been taken
Yeah.
out, right, yeah, no, I
It's taken-
understand that.
We forecasted with 0 left over.
Yep.
So,
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion for the 165?
65.6, how's that?
65.6, okay.
165.6. I don't think we need the $6, do we?
Probably not.
I could probably put it somewhere,
In that 10%.
right?
I already made my motion for the day. It's your turn, John.
I'll make a motion, we expend, whatever, what do I want?
Purchase order.
Purchase order.
Purchase order, $165,600 worth of the list that Naomi's given us to be taken out of the 2021 surplus.
There a second?
Second,
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
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 That's all I had. Actually, that's not all I, as far as money, I'm done thinking. I had a resident ask me, about a warrant article. And to see if the selectmen would put on a warrant article, and the warrant article would be that you would reduce the 75% that goes into conservation from current use to 50% and take the 25% and open some fund for trails. I said I would ask, just because I would offer the option of petitioning it. But at your last conversation with the, just gonna say with the conservation, you gave them 2 years to come up with a plan. I know this isn't conservation, but if you want them to do a plan, and then you're gonna, you don't know what the plan includes.
Well,
Yeah.
before we do anything, like you said, I don't know what the plan includes, before we do anything, I'd want input from the Conservation Commission.
Right.
And I'd want them to hear that
So you're,
article.
I mean, I told them that, and they're obviously not happy, but at the same time, I wanna be fair. And
Right.
if the resident wants to chase around 25 signatures, I will
That's
tell
their
him to
right.
do that.
That's their right.
But it's, I said I would ask if you would put it on.
Well,
And
I think it's, myself as one, I think it's early
Yeah.
when we gave a timeline of
2 years.
2 years for the Conservation Commission, to formulate a plan. I think it's early. If we had not specified that, I might be in favor of it, but, I think the Conservation Commission needs the time to work.
Right, so I'll just inform the resident, he's welcome to do a petition.
I would say,
At this time, I wouldn't be prepared for it, because 25% of that money, it's gonna go into some kind of fund. Who's gonna be the agent to expend?
Right.
What are the criteria to expend that money?
right.
There's none, I would need a
There's a lot
better
of
plan.
unknown.
There's no
There's a
committee,
lot of
there's no
unknown.
committee looking to do that.
Correct.
No,
So,
no, there's not a Trails Committee, there's
No,
not.
and
right.
realistically, that needs a very in-depth conversation with Conservation Commission, because
Exactly.
that's money they budget on for their stuff.
And it would also be a subcommittee of them, I would feel,
Correct.
you know, which is just not
Well,
there
they're
yet, so.
talking about working with Parks and Rec. I think
Well, then-
you gotta give them, I think you gotta give them the
You
2
gotta-
years
they
to
need
see what
time.
they're
You
gonna
gotta
They
do.
need
give them
some
2
time.
years to
Yeah.
do something.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
Then I have 2 more Eversource things, if you want me to sign them. One's by land on Corliss Drive and on Deering Center Road. I think he sends them to the town, but I really think it's a state right away, unless it's ours.
under the PSNH, I think that's us, just because they pay taxes on it.
That's true.
Right? I move to approve the town administrator to sign the, intent to cuts for, Ashland/Eversource around the,
Do you wanna just do it so I can
Utilities.
just get them back to them?
yeah.
I mean, it's typically on town property, so I don't wanna hold up them cutting if I don't have a meeting. I'm just asking you, I mean, typically,
and any further.
Where's the town property on 149?
well, no, like he said, they pay taxes on the poles and stuff, so they
Right.
have to keep them clean.
Oh, yeah.
And they come in all the time.
We've got a
Have we, as a board, ever,
denied no.
okay, so yeah, just.
Yeah,
make it-
just sign
Yeah.
them.
So, yeah, so move that.
And any future requests.
And any future requests,
Take
Yeah.
care of it, yeah.
but just to be mentioned in your report, that's all.
I got one, I gotta sign.
So if
some
you
back.
sign it, just mention in your report that you signed one, that's all.
Okay.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded, all in favor?
Yes,
Aye.
Yes.
I would like to just have one quick chat in non-public.
Under C.
Just a minute,
No, never mind.
It's a joke.
Private joke.
okay. Sorry I didn't catch that one.
Under C, or A and C?
A and C.
A and C. Yes. You're
Did you
doing a
have-
horrible job tonight.
Did you have a
I have a C. You did a horrible job
A and C?
of reminding me. No, it's a C.
Okay, but did you make a vote on the last thing? Sorry.
On the what? On that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all in
Yes.
favor.
all in favor, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's
You've
all.
been getting out of that.
I thought, we'll talk about that later, but no, it was on my mind, it's just not appropriate for this board, in my opinion.
Donna, we won't be long.
We won't be long.
It's all right, I just made these are not to tell.
I
Get it wrong.
think
You gotta
it
make him
is,
walk home?
and I'll tell you why later.
In B then, I think.
No, it's still C.
Would it be C?
Still C.
Okay.
You'll be at your phone Tuesday, right?
Do what?
You'll be at your phone Tuesday?
You leaving me?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, oh, that's, yeah.
No, tomorrow I have the girls, so I'm.
Well, you
playing
can
tomorrow.
sit out there.
See Wednesday. I'll be at that one in
See
there.
what you might have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be in that room.
Sounds like a good idea.
7576.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll try it then.
okay.
Communicate.
Yes.
Gonna move to go into non-public on RSA 91A3, Roman numeral 2, A and C. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be adjourning afterwards. Thank you.